Hello subscriber, welcome to our channel Financial Academy. Today we are coming with new topic sustainable finance. As this is one of the recent concept on finance, and even the whole world is looking for the sustainable finance. So let's have a quick look about what sustainable finance is and what are the key elements of sustainable finance and what for we need this sustainable finance in as of current days. First of all, we'll see why it matters. The sustainable finance. Sustainable finance is now a hot topic for investors, bank, and the business around the world. It is becoming increasingly sophisticated and popular with new frameworks, initiative, and financial product. Even though sustainable finance has a lot of potential, it still has a long way to go before it can help us achieving the sustainable development goals. The UN estimates the gap in financing to achieve the sustainable development goals is at $2.5 trillion per year. So, how do you ensure sustainable finance can help us to achieve the sustainable development goals by 2030? The first step is understanding what sustainable finance is and how it works. So, sustainable finance is nothing but it is the approach for the investment towards the sustainable development. So, in sustainable development, as all of you know that about it, economical, social, and society, we are clubbing these three key parameters for the sustainable development. So, considering that, when we thought or when we saw any sustainable project and that will be financed through some of the banks and organization and the business projects, so that we call in simple term as sustainable finance. Let see what is sustainable finance. Sustainable finance is refers to the process of taking environmental, social, and governance consideration into account when making any disinvestment decision in the financial sector. So it leads to more long-term investment in sustainable economic activities and projects. So in simple term, what we can say is that ACG, that is environmental, social, and governance. These are the three key elements in the sustainable finance, and the sustainable finance is focused on these three key elements. Let's understand what sustainable finance is and how it will be support to the economic growth. So while reducing the pressure on the environment and taking into account social and governance aspect, sustainable finance also encompass transparency when it comes to risk related to environmental, social, and governance factor that may have an impact on the financial system and the mitigation of such risk through the appropriate governance of the financial and corporate actors. So, in short, what we can say the sustainable finance is a mode of finance where we have to consider the three key elements. The first element was environmental element, second one is your social element, and third one is your governance element. So, if you are going to club all these elements in an optimum manner, so whatever the outcome will be there, so that we will be called as a sustainable finance. And why is sustainable finance is important? As we know, as we are suffering from the COVID-19 pandemic, so that is one of the key learnings for us to, and we have to think about the sustainable finance. Sustainable finance has a key role to play in delivering on the policy objectives under the European Green Deal, as well as the European Union international commitments on climate and sustainability objectives. It does this by channeling private investment into the transition to a climate neutral, climate resilient, resource efficient, and fair economy. As a complement to public money, sustainable finance will help ensure that investments support a resilient economy and a sustainable recovery from the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. So that we saw that COVID-19 was impacted the whole world. So with that consideration, if you have a look on about the sustainable finance, it is toward to overcome that issue as it is towards the protecting to the upcoming environment and even to try to contribute towards economic growth of any nations. Then after this, we have to see the why this and what are the key elements of sustainable finance. So that we are going to see in the upcoming videos. So with this, were completed, and for the further videos regarding the sustainable finance, ECG, and social finance, subscribe to our channel. You will get a notification for this. Thank you.